Oh man, let me tell you guys, I am having a heck of a time. There's no countdown. I'm not even on my usual setup. I hope I'm actually live and that you can hear me. I can't see the chat. Okay, there we go. All right. Uh, Thank you all for waiting. I'm sorry I'm late. Oh, it looks like nobody stays. Oh wait, no, I do have people in here. Thank you so much. Yeah, I left my laptop at somebody's house, and I didn't even do my little countdown or anything. Left my laptop in somebody's house, and I went and got it, and then I brought it back here. I can't do anything. It's like frozen. The little thing spins on it. And here's the thing. Listen, I mean, I am so grateful to have a laptop. I got it last year at a time where I really needed it for something, and it served its purpose. But man, let me tell you something. Mac is not all it's hyped up to be. I'm learning because it kind of and it was like one of the nice ones with the M1 chip and everything, and I paid a decent amount of money for it. And my sometimes my 12-year-old desktop works way better than that. So so little frustrated with that. But how are you guys doing tonight? Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Thank you for being here instead of what do people do? Did they go to the bar in town and hang out with their old high school friends? That was never my cup of tea, and still isn't, as you can see. It's more fun, yeah, to do it this way. Oh, you're having a party in here. You waited patiently. Yes, thank you so much for waiting. I really appreciate that. And like I said, I am just like really ticked off in my laptop right now. Yeah, new background. This is like my actual one of my real backgrounds. I know. Brian joked about getting me a desktop, but you see, the reason I like streaming from the laptop is because I like portability. So this is one of the rooms that I've streamed from. So I actually have a real background now because it's real life background. It's so hard to try to read the chat from here. But yeah, but so Thanksgiving Eve, thought it'd be, instead of going to the bar and hanging out with old high school friends like some people do, let's just hang out with each other on Thanksgiving Eve. And to anyone who doesn't celebrate, anyone here like not in the U.S., well, happy Wednesday night. So I thought it'd be fun to just hang out with you guys and chat back and forth about anything really. I had a few just different things I wanted to say. Um, and yeah, but let me catch up in the chat. Let's see. Let me see what was happening here in this party. Okay, Insidious Tomas, you're giving it 3 minutes. That was before. Yeah, I'm pulling a Richard Hart. Okay, so usually he's delayed like this. I usually never catch him at the beginning, waiting for him. Sorry, my finger is touching the lens almost. Okay. Oh, Randy's stream is going on too. Well, okay. Thank you for multitasking and being here also. Am I oiling the chair to stop squeaking? No. Oh, now it doesn't want to squeak. We're just going to make it. There we go. Sorry. Can you see I'm a little wound up from that laptop situation? Another smoke break, steak, bacon, shake, snacks. Wait, are you saying I was taking a smoke break? No, it was. Well, maybe my computer was smoking or my ears were smoking after dealing with that computer. Oh, there really was a party going on in here. Thank you guys for being here. Let's see who's in here. So Mr. Okel, Hex Hoddle, Brian, it is now. Mr. Okel, I didn't see you last week. We missed you. Insidious Tomas, Toxic, that always, it's like a tongue tie for me. Toxic Hex Hog. Let's see, any guesses on where my laptop was? It was at a relative's house. Hey, Mango Junkie. Oi, oi. Hex Force One. YouTube. I feel bad that I kept everybody waiting. All right. Thanks, guys, for being here. Wow, there really is a lot of comments to go through here. 369. Hey, John Davis. Ada. All right. Thanks, guys. And thanks for tolerating my finger in your face. I'm still going to try to turn this on because I feel like I can see this better. But what's going on tonight? What's everybody's plans for Thanksgiving? So we have UFO thumbnail questions. Why, is there a UFO in the thumbnail? Anyway, Let's see. This thing still doesn't work. And I had my topics in my head and I'm like, I don't need to write it down because they'll be easy to remember. But now I can't remember through this chaos. But yeah, I just wanted to hang out with you guys because now that I've been back, I've kind of done it like, having people on for interviews and just some back and forths. But I missed this interaction, this back and forth, this live chat. Oh my gosh, this might actually be working now, so I might just change over to this. But no, it's still weird. Is anybody a Mac fan? Because like I said, I'm not loving it. I like my other Apple products, but I cannot get into the whole laptop thing. So Hex Hoddle, you got a turkey sandwich, so you are all set. Oh, that sounds good. I'm looking forward to turkey soup the day after. Hey, Mojo Shop. Mango Junkie, you're going to Pennsylvania tomorrow to see your sis and nieces, your brother-in-law. Isn't that part of the song? There's no place like home to Pennsylvania, folks, right? Well, I hope you have a safe trip to Pennsylvania. So you're not too far from here, are you then? Because I'm in New York. In case my accent didn't give it away. Starting a GoFundMe for a new computer for Ash. This is a new computer, though. Turkey top ramen. You know what? Whatever floats your boat. Sorry, I want to put these comments back up, but I'm like, I'm not familiar with doing this on my phone. Oh, who is chilling in the UFO? Oh, okay. Who is chilling? Isn't it Mulder and Scully in there? Or is it E.T.? Is it Ripley? I can't remember. I'll have to look at that graphic again. Oh my gosh, this is finally up and running. I'm shocked. Okay, let me see if I can get into StreamYard in there. Sorry, bear with me. You've already bared with me this long. I don't like looking into this thing. I feel like I'm like squinting and leaning the whole time. Alrighty. So ticked off. I'm going to say it in my accent. No, I don't have an accent. You all do. Now I'm curious. Who is in the UFO? I used to know who was in the UFO in my graphic. Did you know there are different classes of angels? Doing research for a message on angels. You know what? Yes, I remember learning that there were different classes of angels like years ago as a kid, but I never thought much about it since until recently, because learning about fallen angels, like realizing that there's different classes, that those different classes of angels did fall, and how that affects their appearances when they're fallen, kind of made me revisit that lately, which is interesting because that also kind of links back to the idea of a UFO itself is an aerial entity. So I heard somebody bring up this concept, and I'm like, you know what? That's interesting. I never thought about it that way. So, yes, UFOs could potentially be crafts for the entities that are using it for whatever they do. But I also heard this this idea that what if at least some of the crafts are actually an entity itself. Like it's a fallen angel entity, kind of like in the book of Ezekiel. Doesn't he talk about those wheels that are on fire? And I know there's kind of debate whether they're wheels, those fire wheels are related to the cherubim, or whether they're their own class of angel, the throne's angels. But so people were saying, well, that was described in the book of Ezekiel. What if a UFO, because some UFOs do present as wheels on fire, at least around here in New York, in Orange County, in Pine Bush, people had seen those type of crafts. So people are like, well, what if those wheels that are on fire are fallen throne angels or fallen cherubim with those wheels on fire? I thought that was an interesting concept. So I'm like, wow. So the UFO as its own entity was pretty wild idea, but it made sense, when you thought about it. All right. Yes, I think I'm in. This is Chrome. Where the heck am I? Why does it want me to re-log in? That's so annoying. So I'm going to get back to these comments in a moment. Because now that this is acting normal, I want to do it this way, so I could see better. Not that I can't see. I mean, I have decent vision. I just I don't want to be like leaning in and squinting the whole time. Hate these login codes. Yes, I'm in. Okay. I'm going to switch over. So let me figure out. So I think it's going to go black for like maybe 30 seconds as I switch over to this. All right. Let's see. Yes, I am back in my usual place. Can you all see me? I feel so much better now. I feel relaxed, calmer. Okay. And all right, let me maximize this. Perfect. Okay. Let me go back up to where we were at. So 369, just freshen up on some deep conspiracies to bring up and annoy fam at dinner tomorrow. Yes, please. Please do that. Speaking of, did anybody watch that documentary Died Suddenly yet? That'd be a good thing to bring up at Thanksgiving. Okay, so you're Central Jersey. Okay, so that's pretty close to Pennsylvania. Oh, and the class, here's the comment that we were talking about before, the different classes of angels. So take your time with the laptop, probably doing updates or something, swap over when you can. So thankfully we are back here. No, it wasn't doing updates. It was like doing this frozen thing, almost like it was busy and doing too many things at once. But like I just had like, I had Safari open, I had Chrome open. I feel like it should have been able to handle that. Like I said, my 12-year-old desktop seems to sometimes handle things better than this does. To show us the new computer. Well, I guess the 1-year-old computer. It was like, those MacBook Air, the M1 ones. So that was what I ended up getting. And it served the purpose I needed it for last year. But now it's just, I don't know. It annoys me, but I still love it. So exactly. Yeah. Love hate with Apple products sometimes. But I have to say, I know it's not going to be a popular thing to say, but I love my iPhone and I love my iPad. hmm Yep, MacBook Air. I know, yeah, you hate the Apple products. That's what I was gonna say. Like when I was saying, or that's what I was thinking when I'm like, I know some people hate it. I was thinking of you. I know Linux all the way, right? So John Davis says the fallen angels masquerade as UFOs in order to deceive. Yes, Ezekiel has that language in it. Okay, yeah, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because sometimes I do think it's craft, fallen angel technology, actual craft, but then some of them I do believe they are like an aerial entity. If you ever stop streaming, I will assume that you're abducted by aliens or the sec lizards. Thank you. Exactly. It's like where people put out those things just in case, like wasn't there like an episode of the X-Files where they had the laptop set to email something in case they died so everyone knows that they didn't kill themselves, that it was actually, that they were murdered, and then all the info gets sent out. I think it was the X-Files. Not saying that I expect people coming after me. I'm not making any big revelations here, but just saying. All righty. Sorry, you guys are cracking me up here in this in this chat. Everybody's feisty for Thanksgiving Eve. Because I see Mr. Okel, Brian, and Hex Hoddle have an interesting conversation going on here. Goes dark. Someone gets knifed in the study. One of us is the murderer. How about we switch to shanked? I feel like, why doesn't Clue say, Clue's like stabbed? We need to like modernize it. Somebody was shanked in the, what is a popular room to have now? In the great room, right? Open concept. Somebody shanked in the great room. That was nuts. Died suddenly. Most of us already knew it was incredibly nefarious. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Watch the first 15 minutes of it. You have it on pause now. Not sure I want to watch the rest of it. Brings it all back for me. Gets me really pissed. Yeah. And I watched about like the first 18 minutes and I plan to watch the rest. And yeah, no, I agree with you, Mango Junkie. It's stuff we already knew, but it's nice that it's been compiled all into one thing. And the other interesting part of it is, when we were saying that stuff, all of us who believe that, we were really silenced. We were really treated as outcast and this and that. You're crazy. And, friendships and family relationships are broken up over it. Now people are backtracking. And I have to be, careful with what I say here so the algorithm doesn't freak out. But now the FDA was like, oh, that medicine with the eye, we never told you not to use it. It was just a suggestion. I mean, come on. You guys saw the jokes that they were making and everything, like don't eat horse dewormer. So now slowly there's a backtracking going on. Not completely, because these type of people do not want to admit they're wrong, but they're slowly finding ways just to be like, to make themselves look more neutral. Now we know better, but I think it's very telling that that's happening. But in terms of what's happening in the documentary, I think it's interesting because people want to assign other blame for this. Oh, we just paying more attention to the deaths. No, it's the same amount of deaths that have always happened, and this and that and that. But no, because think about the people and what's going on in your own life. I've never seen this amount of sickness or death around me. I mean, it's just exponential. And no, I'm not going to blame it on the fact that screenings weren't available because they didn't let you get screenings. It's not that type of illness and death. It's very interesting. The fact that it's not something happening that afar, it's something where I feel like we can all look into our own lives and find evidence of that. Sorry, now I'm catching up with this. Okay. Right. I feel like though their sensors are still they still know what to look for. Even they all know our little code names and everything. But it's interesting also because I'm finding that, okay, a lot of people maybe weren't on the same page as me around here, but slowly I feel like, it was frustrating to look around and be like, people are not opening their eyes to it. But now all of a sudden, like the people who went along with it are now starting to kind of step back and be like, this is interesting. So, I mean, not enough people, but some people here there. It's really interesting, but it's also nice when you find people like of the same perspective of you. And it's like, yes, I found my people. Oh my gosh. That takes me off so much. When the Atlantic did that article about that type of amnesty, saying, oh, we need to declare an amnesty. No, sorry. Yeah, like you said, forgive but not forget. To forget is to repeat history. We know history and people and repeat the same mistakes over and over. But there was way too much gone on to an extreme where I can't accept that whole amnesty. We're just going to let it pass. Now, if we were the ones being that unhinged, they would never let us have an amnesty, but now they want an amnesty. Yeah, we could all say a lot about that. Very frustrating. Yeah. Oh gosh, you're cracking me up. You know what? Is that a man thing though? Because I feel like I know other men who do the same thing. They don't want to keep their phone on. They don't want to answer the phone, not because of any bad reasons, just I don't know. Your dad, if you're watching, right? In my family, that's the thing. Being like, why does he carry phone if he doesn't want to turn it on? So sorry, I'm just teasing you, Dad. But no, I'm learning that that's a man thing. So I guess it's women who are more apt to answer quickly and answer phones and respond to text. So yeah. So email you, send you a postcard, get creative. But yeah, you don't want to. You're hard to reach, Hex Huddle. That's funny. So John Davis, news of UFO footage off the coast of San Diego a few years ago by U.S. Navy showed a craft coming out of the water. It's interesting when you look at the percentage of our ocean that's explored. So when you look, I don't remember what the number is, but it's a very small number. And and the thing is, there was these reports by the U.S. Navy, but for years we've been seeing reports just from regular people, even if they're not acknowledged by the government, of these things all of a sudden, they're flying in the sky and then they dip underwater or they come out of the water. And it raises the question of what's going on under there. Do they live in hollow earth? Is hollow earth a thing? And those are where the entrances are? Are there underwater cities? I've heard there are people who claim to have worked for the government or, these higher powers and, higher nefarious powers on Earth that say that there's underwater cities. So it's like, okay, well, is that some sort of military tech going to these underwater cities? But there's definitely something with UFOs and going under the water, which again begs the question, why aren't we exploring more of the oceans? But maybe that's why. Maybe there's a deterrent to that. It's interesting also because I've seen some, I think it was an upstate New York story that happened where somebody was watching a UFO hovering over the water and then like dipping things into the water and I don't know, testing the water, doing whatever and I'm sure it's not just a New York thing, that it's happened in other places. So I'm like, what is this connection to water? It's interesting, isn't it? You saw the documentary yesterday. Oh yeah. That Died Suddenly documentary, chilling info. They basically disclosed the historic pattern of the Hegelian dialectic of control. And Hegelian dialectic, something sometimes I feel like, at least for me, hard to wrap my brain around because there's so many aspects of it, but it's definitely something here that we see at play. I'm trying to think like what's the best way? I mean, I'm sure majority of you here know what the Hegelian dialectic is, but for anyone that doesn't, I'm trying to think of the best way to distill it down to just a quick explanation. Almost like they make the problem so that they can give you the solution that you want. And then everybody like accepts the solution, even though they were the ones that made the problem, because I guess the solution was the outcome they wanted. So they kind of like, I guess, convince you that you want that outcome by causing the problem. I don't know if that was a good enough explanation, but oh yeah, but people totally were off the we're off the rails with this. I remember like getting yelled at walking out of a grocery store, and it was like some old man, cover your face. And it's like I just kept walking and laughing, but people were so insane. I should have turned around and been like, stay home if you're scared. Like there's so much fear that happening that was causing people to act out in these really off the rails ways. But it's like, okay, if it's fear, why don't you stay home? And there's still people who are still staying home. Like I've started to realize that there's some people I know who I think have been home this entire time. I don't think they've gone to events or done anything in these past 2.5 years. And it's really scary because here's the thing. I believe that C word virus is real. And I believe that it does kill some people. But I also believe that it was blown out of proportion. That there are people that are more sensitive to it. And, for some reason, just like certain people are more likely to die from the flu, it happens. I do believe that this was stronger than a flu for a lot of people. Because, I mean, we're not really a healthy nation. People don't take care of themselves. So like, yeah, so I do believe that was real, but it was blown out of proportion. And the fact that where I am, that people are still living in fear years later, people have started masking up again. And again, like I said, I'm just realizing now that there might be some people I know who still have not left their apartments, or hardly have done anything. And I'm like, you know what? That's not a way to live. Past a point, you have more of a chance of dying by getting in the car. So, and I know people want to claim, that they have I don't know, autoimmune disorders or other comorbidities that could be an issue. But I've seen people that are old, people with like serious comorbidities that end up just fine. So I don't know. There's a lot I could say. Just I don't even know where I'm going with that. It's just like around here and the fact that people are starting to mask up again and the fact that I've gotten yelled at for not wearing a mask outside, always old people. Why is it always the old people yelling? I don't know. Get off my lawn, that type of thing. So that's it. Less than 5% of the ocean explored. Official. True. That's what they tell us. Yeah. So, okay. I had a feeling that it was like low, below 5. 3 kept popping up in my brain. Mm-mm-mm. Oh my gosh. You're cracking me up. Yeah. Autocorrect. Yeah. Water's what we're made of. And I think, you know what? If you do believe we're getting abducted, which I do believe that is a thing, they're interested in our genome. They're interested in altering it, and they're also interestingly, there's an interest in people who are Rh negative. I've heard that. So think about it. If you're Rh negative, especially if you're O negative. Anybody have sleep paralysis issues? Anybody have weird issues at night? I'm curious. And I'll revisit that momentarily. I just want to hear these answers. Time to revisit the Antarctic Treaty. Why is it still up? Are there bases down there? I know. I think about Australia often. I mean, not Australia, Antarctica often. Shoot. But yeah. I don't know, man. Sure, we all look up at the ocean as fascinating. Avatar Way of Water should be good. Hoping. Avatar, like the movie? I haven't seen the movie Avatar. Can you believe that? If we're talking about the movie here or not something else. Hegelian dialectic. Yeah. Problem, reaction, solution. There we go. That was my long-winded way of explaining that. Thank you, John. You explained that like that. You find everything hilarious lately? That's good. You know when it's cheesy to say laughter is the best medicine, but it truly is. It's so much fun to just laugh at everything. It makes you feel better. They say laughing's actually healthy. In my family and I, we kind of cope in life by laughing, and it makes everything so much better. I was gonna say some stories, but I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Stay home if you're scared. That's the thing. Stay home. Stop bothering people if you're scared. When it comes to that C virus, everybody needs to do what we can't lock down everybody, because like I said, because it's real, because I do believe it's real, I believe that everyone needs to assess their risk and their fear and do what's appropriate for them. Like I have elderly people in my family who would potentially be affected by the flu. So way before this, years later, we were always very careful during flu season because we knew our risk. We didn't live in fear. We weren't going to inconvenience everybody else, but we knew the potential risk. So we stayed careful and said, okay, maybe that's not a good idea going there, but okay, we'll go here and, we'll just up our supplements and, make sure we're really washing our hands and everything, even though we're good with that anyway, so it's like we lost that ability to make choices according to our risk. No, we didn't lose it. They just wanted to like broad brush stroke and just like make everybody do the same thing. It was ridiculous. So and it's the same thing like my family, because there's older people who have certain needs. Same thing with the C virus. We said, okay, again, we're not living in fear, but we're picking and choosing what we're doing accordingly. We still live life. We still went to events. We still went to weddings. We still did certain things. But then we just reevaluated certain things, saying maybe that's not a good idea right now. Like I love general admission concerts, where you're like standing shoulder to shoulder on the rail, packed in with people and everybody's like sweating or whatever. Love that. So much fun. I know a lot of people don't. But, during this, because of what my family members' needs are, I went, you know what? Not wise at the moment. I'm just going to skip it for now. for now, not permanently, but for now. And see, that's what I believe. Like I'm not going, oh my gosh, they need to shut this down. They got to lock this thing down, stop all those GA shows until we get better. No, because everybody needs to make the choice. I made the choice of what was good for my family. And if anybody else is in a different situation, they should be allowed to go. So stupid lockdown shit, but it's a form of control. Oh my gosh. Especially like if you look at New Zealand, that insane psycho Jacinda Ardern. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm so behind. Cover your face. Yeah. Cover your face. It's like the new version of get off my lawn. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, Hacksender. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Thank you for being here. Thank you all you guys for being in here tonight on a different day on your Thanksgiving Eve. Tortoise Johnny in New York. Nobody. Oh wait, what is this referring to? This all the people freaking out? Yeah, I don't know, but it's such a mix here because let me tell you, like New York's such a strange place because New York at its core is a red state. But because of my county, my suburban county, and because in New York City, that's what sways it to blue. So in my county, you get a mix of nobody caring and everybody doing their own thing, and then the other people who like want to yell at you and be Karens over the stupid stuff, you know. So it was a custom flu and with propaganda, yeah. And now what? I'm with you. I was always of that mindset that it was created in a lab and that was no, it didn't. It came from the bats, you know. But then now they've admitted it and silence, but they've admitted that it came from a lab. Yeah. And it was, yeah. Oh, totally. I'm with you on that. I think also people were showing their inner anger towards the government, but didn't know how to express it effectively. Oh, that's an interesting way to put it. But it's hard because they're such sheep when it comes to everything the government does and did, you know, like I think they're still kissing government butt. So I can't imagine that they would even be angry at the government and taking it out elsewhere, you know? Like I think they're so brainwashed that even subconsciously they don't feel that way toward their government. You know what I mean? I don't know. Unless it's just different where I live, but I just see the brainwashing and the sheep mentality happening. That's interesting. Or is this a joke? Because are you an O positive smoker? Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I'm so behind. I'm going to catch up quickly. No, I haven't seen Avatar. And I have the 3D Blu-ray of it because it was like a promotion that I got with my 3D Blu-ray player like 10 years ago. And I still haven't watched it. Yeah, it's so much fun to laugh at everything. Let's see. Ooh, you have a 5 terabyte drive with 3D movies. I like that. I just buy mine on Voodoo, the old fashioned. I mean the I don't know, the sheep way. Hey Maddie, hope you're feeling all right and hope you're doing better. Sorry, I'm like yelling like I'm yelling over a crowd. Hey. All righty. Oh, okay. Here's another explanation. Hegelian dialect. Thesis plus antithesis equals synthesis. Incremental control, right? Is this Hegelian dialect still? Ooh, I like that. That's interesting. You got the wheels moving in my brain. In Ash Rant, good tree. Thank you. I know, like I haven't talked a lot about this subject matter, but it's like it's really getting it. Okay, it's been insane, but it's like really getting insane. But and there's still so much I can't say. We all just need like a private Zoom to talk stuff about this. Honestly, thought New Yorkers would be a bit tougher about it given the reputation. Well, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing about New York. So you know how I said it's like a red state at its core, but because of like the city and some of the suburbs, it's blue. Also, something I've noted is that born and bred New Yorkers, you know, are pretty tough and tend to be like more level-headed about their politics, like even if they lean more left, they're more moderate about it. What I noticed is the transplants, the people that almost like they thought they were too good for their cities and other states. So they're like, oh, I'm going to go to where it's like free and everybody's, um, I don't know, everybody thinks like me and everybody's so progressive. I'm going to come to New York City. And they're the worst of it. They're the real sheep. They're the ones that go along with everything and vote horrendous people in. Like everybody talks about people moving from blue states into red states and bringing their votes with them. And yes, that's horrendous. And I feel for you all. But we also get that move of the ultra progressive people that think they were too good for their cities that come to New York because they think they're all cool and whatever. And they ruin it here and make it worse for us too. Because let me tell you, I'm telling you, the born and bred New York people, and I'm not just saying this because that's what I am. And but like, no, legit, we realized that. Thoughts on 5G. That's a loaded one. Oh, I feel so behind. Oh no, I'm almost caught up. Okay. I don't know enough about it, but I try to avoid it because that does hit the point of where you get into unhealthy levels. Most cellular radiation is not good for you from the cell phones and from your devices, but then that is where it starts hitting the danger zone. So it's kind of wild the fact that they even allow it, which makes you then step back and wonder, okay, you want to blame it on corporate greed, or do you want to blame it on something more nefarious? And the fact that like where you see you see these like people want to say, oh, look, it's a plan because you see them right outside the schools and everything, and you see them outside of certain public places. And no, I understand that placement because yes, the schools can benefit from it, other people can benefit from it. But when you're walking through a neighborhood and you see the 5G towers not near anywhere public like that, and just like right outside people's houses, like on their front lawn, on that telephone pole. And I know it's almost like a net. They have to get it everywhere. But I'm like, you really start to wonder. You're like, this isn't healthy. And it's like right on your front lawn. And this is an area of the suburbs where it's like postage stamp lots. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't believe it's healthy. I try to avoid 5G devices. When I got this cell phone in 2020, it's an iPhone 11 Pro Max. I thought to myself, this is going to be the last iPhone that is not a 5G iPhone. So I said, I'm going to go all out. I bought it with the biggest memory. I said, I want to use this as long as possible and not have any issues. And they even tried to talk me out of buying. I'm like, I know what I'm doing. The cell phone store people, but because I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to expose myself to that level of radiation. And I was right. Now they're all 5G. It's very hard because I had to help my dad find a new cell phone. And it's very hard now to find new cell phones without that. And I believe that's intentional. Okay, yes, it makes things fast and it's wonderful and all that. But if you know those levels aren't good for humans, it's not a good idea to have that in your pocket. And the fact that it's just everywhere and hard to find. And they're like, oh no, you can turn it off on certain phones. But I'm like, no, because how do you know it's not being turned back on to make you unhealthy? I don't know. Because then if you get cancer, then the medical industry makes more money. Oh gosh, this is just like the ranting conspiracy theory night. I feel like I'm going to get clipped by people who don't like me, and they're going to text it to each other. But so be it. Thankfully, well, that's another story. My friends are like, we don't care. We know she's like this. Let's see. Grown men and talking like teenagers in the 90s about computers is I don't know what's being said here. Let's see. Inner zombies coming out, yes, from all the sheeple. Yes, down the duck. I realized down the duck. I still have that design idea in my head. I saved some graphic designers on Fiverr that I think will do it in the style that I want. So I can't wait till we can get that duck hole merch. Talked.
I think, yeah, I was talking with Johnny Chaos after the stream last week, and he was like, talked. I'm like, how am I supposed to say it? Talked, talked? He's like, yes. Doesn't sound okay. Doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right to me. It's just like coffee. Coffee, right? But like I'm supposed to say coffee? Like that sounds like it has an A in it. Coffee has an O. Okay, but we won't do the accent discussion. Oh, okay, facts. Okay, about the 5G. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to catch up. Are they gonna arrest that FTX Pond? Ugh, I know. I'm like, how is he still walking around? Is it because he's in a different country? No, because you know what? Because he funneled money to the government. Oof, yeah. Those. Have you guys seen those videos of the birds falling out of the sky? Like, I know that stuff sometimes happens and there's other anomalies, but lately that's happened more and more, and it's weird. It's like they just drop suddenly. It's like did somebody flip a switch? You know that with too much radiation happening. I don't know. Okay, but de-Googled phones are the way to go. But what kind of phone would that be? Like, because Android is like a Google operating system, no? So, like, how do you escape that? A Linux phone? Is that a thing? You must have used it a long time. You got your use out of it. Fast phones are like fast food, killing you fast in one way or another. There you go. Yes, I like that. Yeah, there's something about it. So like I am gonna do like Mr. Okel, and I am gonna run this phone into the ground, and it kind of makes me sad. I mean, okay, not that I can run out and buy a phone at the moment, but like when I could, I was like, oh, but it kind of would be nice to upgrade, which I know is exactly consumer culture. That's what they want. But sometimes, with the new camera and the new camera features, and I like a nice camera, but whatever. But look, I keep pointing to this because I'm using my phone, as a webcam right now. But I know it doesn't look too good. It is 4K, but I'm using the Camo app to use it as a webcam, and because I'm using the free version of the Camo app, they only let me do 720p. It's all right. You don't need to see my imperfections in 4K. Coffee. Wait, okay. Coffee. Was that New York? But then how are you supposed to say coffee? Coffee or bought? To me, bought sounds appropriate, but people say that it has the New York W in it. But what am I supposed to say? Bot? But then that's BOT. That's like a bot. But bought, OU makes I'm telling you, I'm convinced that we are saying things properly over here. You're just waiting for the Carrington solar event to dump most crypto to zero. Oh, how would that affect crypto? Because because it would be wiping like hard drives and stuff. I have my hard drive in a Faraday cage just in case of an EMP, not a solar event. Android is open source, doesn't have to be Google services installed. Oh, okay. See, I thought that was like a Google owned operating system from Google. I didn't realize. I still don't like Android. I can't get used to it. iPhone cameras are up there with Nikon's, etc. are very close now. Yeah, like I've seen some really nice things. So like when I see the new iPhone cameras, I'm like, it would be really nice to trade in my phone, but I don't want the 5G. And again, like some people are like, you can turn off the 5G, but I don't trust the fact that they won't turn it on to poison you. Basically, everything poisons you, right? Everything now, and it's completely intentional. But never heard it like that. You're absolutely right. I'm going to use that. Okay, right? See, that's what, like, the phonics of it, the linguistics. I might not know a lot about linguistics, but when you kind of I don't know, phonics, whatever, how you teach kids to read and pronounce things properly. Like when you look at the way New Yorkers say things, like it makes a lot more sense. In the trying to think I'm trying to think of some examples in the pronunciation. Like Audrey, the name Audrey. Somebody once told me that Audrey, that's a New York pronunciation, pronouncing the AU as aw. But they're like when you say it elsewhere, it's like Audrey. I don't know, because somebody got offended that it was pronounced the wrong. Somebody outside in New York got offended that it was pronounced the New York way. But I'm like, what other sound does AU make? Ow, ow. I mean, kind of, but like that would be like an OU. So if we're gonna do AU, aw, right? Same thing with caught. People like you say caught, weird. But again, AU, aw. What am I supposed to say? Cot? Then that would be COT. That would completely change the word. Dog, OG, aw, oh, because I feel like when people start making it, I don't know, neutralizing it, you start changing the word. Then you lose the O in a dog. That doesn't sound like an O anymore. That starts sounding like an A. How do I say Christopher? That's how I say Christopher. Why is that? Is that your real name, Mr. Okel? Hooked on phonics worked for me. worked. I mean, I'm curious about the way I'm saying worked. Hooked on phonics. I did have hooked on phonics too. Nukes wipe drives and burn electronics equipment. Solar event will cause high currents, but with surge protectors, computers and data should be fine. But surely interruptions in internet and power. Okay, so it wouldn't have that same wiping effect as a nuke. Okay. But the markets, oh yeah, markets react to everything. The markets even react to nothing because the markets are fake, right? The stock market. Hey, Torin. Such an event would cause about a 20% U.S. GDP and damage to the U.S. alone. Interesting. And aren't we overdue for one of those events too? No, I mean, it's stuff you read when you're bored, but it's interesting. It's good stuff to know. It's good stuff to read. But I feel like we've been talking about that for years and nothing has happened yet. So are we just beyond the point of being affected like it? Or are we just overdue? I don't know. It's interesting though. But I wonder, are chances, what's more likely to happen first, an EMP? Because here's the thing, everybody's talking about nuke and there's all this nuke scaring. And I feel like it's like Cold War 2.0. It's just talk. Again, talk. Okay, I'll give you talk. Talk is probably pronounced incorrectly. It's all talk, but I feel like that an EMP is way more likely because you can conquer somebody and not destroy their land so that you can use it yourself. Speaking of accents, it always amazes me how British actors can switch it on and off. Wild, yeah. No, I guess with enough practice, you can switch any accent on and off. I'm pretty sure, like in certain settings, okay, because here I'm relaxed, I'm casual, I'm chatting with you guys, I'm in my natural accent. But in other situations, I can neutralize it. That's probably as far as I can go back and forth between switching accents. But yeah, they switch their accent on and off. You know who's really interesting? Gillian Anderson. She was born in the US, spent her childhood in the UK, came back for like high school and her 20s. So she's, I guess, what they call bidialectal, and she doesn't like intentionally switch it on and off unless she's acting, but she'll switch it on and off according to who she's speaking to. So like her daughter, who was raised in North America, she'll speak in a North American accent. But then when she's talking to her kids that were raised in the UK, then she'll be in the British accent. And she said, like, she'll be at the same table and it'll just go on and off, back and forth. I think that's really interesting. Hey, David Lee. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back. And same thing with you, KBC. I haven't seen you either in a bit. What's today's topic? Happy Turkey Day. Yeah, happy Turkey Day to you too. Or happy Thanksgiving Eve. No topic tonight, just kind of wild card, just chatting, catching up with you guys because the last couple, I don't know, have been more like interviews. So I'm like, I miss going back and forth with you guys. So I figured let's just hop on in honor of Thanksgiving Eve and just do our hangout with each other. Because, anyone who's not from the United States, Thanksgiving Eve is still kind of like a get together day for people at night. So I'm like, okay, we'll get together with each other at night. And if you're not from the US, welcome to one of our traditions. And I guess that's why I was bringing up the joke about high school, because some people, maybe it's when they're in college, when they come back home, they go hang out in the bars with everybody they went to high school with. I've never had any interest, even when I was like in college, of hanging out with anybody I went to high school with, besides like, the few people that I kind of kept in touch with. I just didn't have that attachment to my high school. So I was like, no, I don't need to hang around them. Okay, so we're overdue for the Carrington solar event and the volcano. I've been thinking about that super volcano lately. Oh, lovely. And an asteroid too. Can't win, can we? We've been lucky, but we're more like the nuke ourselves because of stupid politics. Or you know what? And even if it's not the nuke, we're just going to drive ourselves into the ground with just stupid. But you know what? It's intentional. It's all intentional. I feel like this camera is too low. It's too much. Okay. I keep adjusting my angles. So my teacher calls planes to the face. She's like, you're very good at using the planes of your face. I'm like, is it that, or I just can't sit still? Let's see. Funny video, family friendly, hooked on phonics worked for me. Only 94 seconds. Oh, I can't click it. Okay. But I will check out. Is this an old school hooked on phonics commercial? You can't stop eating those Pringles. Ooh, I would avoid it. Probably GMO filled, more control. Another way they control us. You know what? It's pretty decent. There's like a more natural version of Pringles I see in the local health food stores, and it's not health food. It's still junk food, but it's got less of the garbage in it, and I have to say, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't buy it because then I'll eat it all, but when I've had it, it's a good option. Yeah, once you pop, the fun don't stop. They must put something addictive in them. Yeah, I think so. I mean, and isn't it a known thing like that Doritos have addictive stuff in it? So it's only, I guess, natural that Pringles, honestly, everything in the United States have some sort of addictive thing to it. Yeah, not even real potato chips. What is it? Potato product? Pringles is a dangerous game. Very tasty. Oh my gosh, what's dangerous for me? Doritos. I remember one time, sometimes I, would lack self-control with food sometimes. For the most part, I grew up in a very holistic family, and I eat very clean and holistically, but I have my moments sometimes. And I remember, this was years ago, I got like the giant family size bag of Doritos and I got into bed, and I had a Mexican Coke, and I just started eating them, and I ate so much of that giant bag that all of a sudden I woke up and I was just on the floor. I felt like such garbage. I couldn't get off the floor, just overheating and everything. And I was like, no more Doritos ever again, because they're so addictive that even though you're past your limit, you just keep eating it and you can't stop. And it's pretty scary. I actually heard, or read that American Doritos are full of all this garbage and the addictive stuff and the MSG and the food coloring and everything. But if you buy UK Doritos, because a lot of that stuff is not allowed in Europe, what's it called? They use natural spices and everything, like paprika and this and that. I'm like, I'm going to ask my friends next time they go to the UK, because I have one good friend of mine, whenever she goes, she's like, Ashley, what do you want me to bring you back? And I never know what I want her to bring you back. I wanted to ask anybody from the UK in here, because I wanted to ask her for Cadbury's Turkish Delight last time she went. But I didn't get to. So I never get around to actually asking her. But this time I know. I'm going to be like, UK Doritos, please bring me UK Doritos. It's been an awesome day of reading all the wonderful ways people are gifting Texan. Oh, you know what? I just claimed it on the last day because I got so behind just with everything going on and with my family and weddings and all this and that. I got behind on that and I really wanted to do my research, but I did claim on the last day. And I know there were some video updates about was there like some additional time given to claim, but I'm really intrigued by Texan token. Oh, well, thank you, Brian. That's very nice of you. Will we ever see an Ash acting real? Absolutely not. Too self-conscious. I love to do it, but little self-conscious. I wanted to say something else, but I don't know what I can say too, because I was gonna say something. I'm gonna say one word, and I think you guys are gonna get it. Mandates. Yeah. So, yeah. But let's see. Addictive in the pre-rolls? Okay, never mind. I'm like, what are we talking about here? Mexican Cokes do taste better, not placebo. Something's different. What's different in it is that they're using cane sugar, not corn syrup. Corn syrup is disgusting. You've never ever done that? Oh, the nonstop Doritos. Oh my gosh, it was really bad. Like it really scared me away from eating large amounts of Doritos. But here and there, I sometimes will grab one. I haven't had it in a while. But yeah, like that's my thing that cannot be in the house that I have no self-control over. Doritos. I can't go near Doritos. That's like a drug, and because of whatever's addictive in there. But I'm telling you, my friend goes back to the UK. I'm gonna say, bring me back UK Doritos. I tried to look to see where I can order them here in the US, but like I can't even find, sometimes there's importers, can't even find it. Let's see. Mexican Coke. Claimers are eligible to gift. Okay. I have to look into this. I don't understand now what gifting is. Sorry, I'm so behind on Texan token, but yeah, I haven't gotten into a lot of the other tokens going on, in the Pulse system, but liquid loans and Texan, I have to say, those are the ones that have caught my attention the most, that I've been most intrigued by. So I definitely will look into this. Thank you for bringing it up, David. Yeah, rabbit hole or duck hole. Rabbit season, duck season. Yep. Gift yourself into another account. Oh, I think I now understand what's happening with gifting. Okay, now I gotcha. The nacho cheese ones. You know what? It depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes I like the nacho cheese. Sometimes I like the Cool Ranch. I don't know. It really depends what I'm in the mood for. I have to say, the fact that they brought back the 3D Doritos, I was like excited, but I'm like, I was kind of, I tried it months ago when I was having a moment, but I was disappointed that it's like not the normal flavors. They're like I don't know, they're alternate flavors and not the regular two. So I was like, but yeah, it reminded me of eating 3D Doritos in school. You claimed Texan on all your wallets. So if I get rugged, Rex has a perfect face to blame. There you go. You got a scapegoat. No, the guys that are behind it, I think they're a trustworthy team. I mean, you know how the saying goes, do your own research, do your thing, but I feel comfortable with it. Many will be greedy, but many will be generous. Oh, this is interesting. I guess it's like, okay, I know it's not a social experiment, but it's kind of sounding like a social experiment. Yeah. If you claim Texan token, you can now gift to a wallet that is not claimed. Oh, gotcha. Perfect. Because I have a wallet I forgot to claim with. So now, okay. I am so glad. So that's how it works. Because I meant to, and then I didn't set a reminder for myself, and it completely escaped me. Okay. Oh, that is exciting. No, I've never tried the spicy sweet chili. Yeah, I stick with just like the basic. I'm a basic BITCH when it comes to Doritos. Yeah. Oh. No, I'm not gonna buy Doritos. Okay, but here's something else interesting. And I know this is off the rails, and we're talking about Doritos tonight because you know what? That's what I want it to be. I just want it to be a fun catch-up live chat where we just talk about everything, strangeness and non-strangeness. Oh yeah, and I do want to talk about our negative in a moment, but I was gonna say something about Doritos. I forgot. Oh, okay, so Crypto Heartbeat talked about it today. I like Crypto Heartbeat. He's a good guy. Okay. I am excited about this because I'm like, I was so bummed that I'm like, I only ended up claiming on one wallet. So now I can send to another. I'm excited. Oh, now I remember what I wanted to say about being tempted. So here's something else I realized. Okay, I try to stay away from candy and sugar and everything. And the interesting thing is, when I'm eating, so I live in the US. So when I'm eating any candy or sweets, I notice an immediate effect on my weight the next day, an immediate negative effect. And the American candy is filled with garbage. I've started trying European candies here and there, and just when I'm craving it, like when I'm craving something bad, instead of having something bad, I'm like, okay, let me have a European candy. Let me tell you, my weight will either stay the same or I'll weigh less the next day. Not that I'm saying that that's a diet food. I'm just saying. And that would never happen with American candy. There's something much cleaner about it. Yes, it's still a junk food, but European candy is way cleaner. Like, oh my gosh. Like the Jaffa, not a Jaffa cake, but it's like just a Jaffa chocolate, like, orange on the inside and chocolate on the outside. Amazing. And the Arrow bar, like, so good. And like I said, does not affect my weight the next day. It's cleaner and it's not nauseating. American candy makes me nauseous. This, like, you eat it and it doesn't give you that feeling where you feel addicted and have to eat it nonstop. It feels lighter. It's not gross. And I don't weigh more the next day. So interesting. Something definitely intentional and poisoning happening in our food supply. Only those that claimed can give Texas token to a wallet that has not claimed. Cool. Yeah. So I did claim in one of my wallets. I personally don't like or use it for myself, but I do believe in medical use. and I mean like legit medical use, not like my knee hurts very slightly. Let me sign up for a card. Because I just think that, everybody can do what they want, but I do believe that it has some negative ramifications on certain things. But I've seen it work wonders for people medically. I've seen it do really great stuff for people with dementia. So in terms of medical, I'm all for it. And, I'm not interested in it for myself. And as a law, I'm kind of more libertarian about it. I'm like, whatever. Because I get these letters from local Knights of Columbus because I had donated to one of the raffles, and I get a kick out of it, just the way they write, these old people, and they're very passionate. But like, they're always attacking marijuana laws in the state, and they're always freaked out about it and what it could cause and what it does. And yeah, I'm sure that's a gateway for certain people, but so is alcohol. That's also a gateway too. So my thing is like, it makes me, I think it's so silly when I see like people freaking out over marijuana laws. I'm like, you know what? You should be more concerned about alcohol. Alcohol is way bigger. You got bigger fish to fry than that. But yeah, so I'm more of like, I'm not going to use it, but I am happy for the people that use it medically and have had amazing results from that. Gifting phase only lasts 1 week from today. So I'm going to be on it right as soon as I can. I'm going to be looking into it. Thank you so much, guys, thank you, David, for bringing that up, and Brian for also helping to explain that. I'm really happy to hear that about the gifting phase. I don't partake anymore, but it is a plant legal worldwide. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's naturally occurring. Not everything that's natural is good, but like, yeah, I don't believe in, it's terrible. Like, I just, because I'm so all over the place with like my beliefs about laws and everything, but I almost feel like you give an inch and the government takes a mile. So I don't like them legislating a lot of things. Um, and it also makes you wonder if part of the legislation is to protect the pharmaceutical industry because um, it does things that pharmaceuticals can't. Same thing with like shrooms and LSD. I absolutely do not believe in taking psychedelics um, recreationally. I believe it can have problems for people, but microdosing is like shown to have amazing results, like especially for people that have treatment resistant depression. Like Naomi Judd killed herself. She had treatment resistant depression. And you wonder, well, what if these things were more widely available? So I kind of look at drug laws as being something in place to protect the pharmaceutical industry. So I'm not entirely for them, but I don't believe in, partaking casually in these things. I believe more in the medicinal sense. Okay, your total calories today. McDonald's double sausage McMuffin. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm just thinking about McDonald's. Not laughing at you. Double sausage McMuffin plus hash browns plus Philly cheesesteak plus turkey sandwich plus Pringles tube plus donut plus ice cream and half a gallon of Gold Peak tea. That is over 3,000 calories today. I don't know if that's a joke or did you really eat all this, but let's excuse it and say it's Thanksgiving Eve. You had some fun. Like, let me tell you, I ate things I shouldn't have today. I like being more higher protein. I've had some carbs. I had corn today. So I'm like, I'm disappointed in myself, but I'm like gonna excuse it by the fact it's Thanksgiving Eve. Gosh, I haven't had McDonald's in a while. I can't do gluten. So you know what? Sometimes I look at it and like maybe gluten's a blessing, not being able to eat gluten in certain ways because it keeps me from going into a fast food joint, which I used to like to do in college because I was raised very holistically. I didn't get to do that type of stuff. So when I had my own car and had my own money, I'm like, I'm going to go to Burger King every day. Then the scale went up 20 pounds. I learned the hard way and my gallbladder hurt. And then it's like, oh, this is why you're not supposed to. One of the many reasons you're not supposed to eat like this. Oh, you have a fast metabolism. Lucky you. I'm telling you, like I could have, if I could eat a sausage. Okay, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I am not blessed with, that I can eat anything I wanted. I had a Philly cheesesteak last year in May, and my weight has not recovered since. And nothing I do will bring it down. It like destroyed me. The Philly cheesesteak. It destroyed my metabolism. So I can't eat like that. But hats off to you. That was my weird salute. It's good to count. Come on, you got to stay healthy so that you can enjoy those gains when they come. You can maximize it. We don't want you getting that it goes to the moon and you drop the next day, right? Some chocolate. Well, if you can eat chocolate, at least make it European. You will feel bad for that in years to come. Are we gonna lecture? No. I'm not gonna lecture. I'm just gonna say, take care of yourself now, and you get to enjoy your gains for a long time. McDonald's fries, oi! Oh, you know what was good? Those Burger King fries. Oh man, and I love a McFlurry when I'm being bad. Oh gosh, last time I was in McDonald's, it was last month. I shouldn't have done that. I can't remember the last time I went to McDonald's. Probably the year before. But I didn't eat anything all day, and I did a Costco run, and I'm like, I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I want something, even though it was right near home. I'm like, I guess that was my excuse for excusing myself. So I went and got fries because the gluten content's very low, so you can kind of get away with it if you're not having too much of it. So I went and got McDonald's fries, and I got M&M McFlurry. It was really wonderful, but yeah. Then I ended up gaining 8 pounds in like 2 weeks. So yeah, not good. Not from the McDonald's. I was just being bad last month. But yeah, busy month for my family, and I guess that was my version of celebrating. But yeah, I guess the funny story I'm going, what I'm talking about, where I was going with this was, so I go into McDonald's and it was packed. This was a McDonald's that's like near a college and a high school, and it was really packed. But it was nice because it kind of felt normal, like people weren't acting weird. Except then there's a mother and a daughter that come in with the mask, and they're like, "Are we the only ones in here with the mask?" And then she turns around, and I'm just staring at her. She makes eye contact with me. I don't know what kind of face I had on. I should have made a face, but then you know what? I also have RBF, resting you know what face. So maybe it looked unfriendly because then she looks at me, she makes eye contact, and they walk away and they go and stand somewhere else. But I'm like, what is this arrogance? It's like past the point. I feel like people aren't masking because they're concerned about their health. I feel like they're masking because it then becomes a moral superiority thing. Because it was like, oh, look how superior we are in this McDonald's. We're the only ones wearing a mask in here. Um, yeah, I guess I didn't have the patience to say anything snappy comeback, but I made eye contact with her directly after she said that. Yesterday, you had almost a whole chicken bacon pizza to your face, only threw away the rest because you couldn't stuff more in. Oh no! Come on, Hexadal. Let's go a little natural, a little holistic. You know, it's good to bring you energy. Ooh, Brian's not gonna like me suggesting this. Ooh, but go carnivore. I love carnivore. It makes me feel really good. But you know, I always say it's this weird balance. I look better when I'm vegan, but I feel better when I'm carnivore. He took a multivitamin. I hope that's a joke. Centrum? Yeah. Plant-based would bring it down. Just saying, facts. No, I'm telling you, when I have been vegan and plant-based, does not do anything for me either. Only thing lately that's moved my weight is carnivore. But yeah, that was, yeah, whatever. I was going to talk numbers. I don't need to talk numbers. Let's see. Why pay over $3? Yeah, you know what? I'm so rarely in McDonald's, but when I was, I noticed the thing was asking for an app, and it told me that like every Wednesday fries are free. I'm like, this is some addictive thing to get people to keep coming back in. Order McDonald's like a pro. It says on their tables. It's true. Plebs waiting in line. My stuff is automatic and cheaper than theirs. That's a little too familiar with McDonald's, but it's all right. I'm not making fun of you. Mwah, still love you. But that's like ordering Starbucks. Like, really, you know, I hate that I do it. But because like I don't like plastics. Not because of like I'm worried about environmental stuff, but health wise. But when I do go to Starbucks, I use the app. And sometimes with the app, you're waiting a while. So I can't imagine people going into line and then, you know, waiting in line and then waiting for the drink. I'm like, are you in Starbucks for half hour? I prefer to use the app and then show up around the time that they say that it's ready. You know, you just grab it and go. Most calories for the buck, I'd say so. Hey, Tin Top. Oh, hold on. I usually put this on Do Not Disturb. Maybe you should put this on Do Not Disturb. Again, let's see who that is. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, I'm sorry. Nope. Sorry. Well, I was responding out loud to my text as I'm putting it in Do Not Disturb. You know who you are. I love carnivore. Somebody's teasing me about my carnivore via text. Yeah. So that's not a thing everywhere. I don't know, because like I'm not 100% familiar with McDonald's. So the fact that like I walked in and it was like, oh, sign in your app, because I guess it went out on Wednesday. You can get your fries for free. I'm like, I'm not going to go through the effort of putting this app on my phone that I'm never going to use. I'll just pay for the fries. You feel like you're shilling? Yeah, you're shilling. Or you're just passionate. You like McDonald's. I appreciate the tips. I can't really eat that because it'd be a disaster for the scale for me, and I can't eat gluten. But I guess about to say no. Keep the app off my phone because then it's gonna tempt me. I am not. Oh, but thank you for bringing that back. Yes, I do want to talk about blood types. You know, but let me tell you, I have for a long time, I've leaned very plant-based. You know, I might have thrown something here and there, but yeah, most of my life I've eaten very, very not very heavy in the animal products. And I have been pretty close to being vegan, and then sometimes I have been vegan in the past few years. And yeah, I don't notice anything particularly great about it for me. But I sometimes wonder if everybody's body chemistry is different. You know, like when I got tons of animal protein in me, like I feel like I need to climb a mountain and I just feel good. My brain can think, my brain can focus. I don't feel like that on vegan. And I'm well supplemented, it's well balanced, but just I don't know, my brain wants those animal fats and protein. But and I'm not going to do that permanently. I know you don't like the carnivore, but I'm not going to be carnivore permanently because I promised my mother that I wouldn't. Because my mom is into the plant-based too. I said, when I get back down to my weight where I was at, then I will stop the carnivore. I'm going to use it to assist me, and then I'm going to leave. Then I'm going to step away from the carnivore. Let's see. The Wojak videos, they got them daily. I'm not familiar with Wojak. Is that like BoJack Horseman? You feel too focused. You are on one tonight, aren't you? Cracking me up. Okay, so here's the blood type thing. Wondering how much, yeah, where do I take this? Okay, so I heard, okay, if you believe that abductions are real, regardless of whether you believe they're aliens, if you believe that they're whatever, entities from the earth, if you believe that they're fallen angels, whatever it may be, there seems to be a connection. People who have Rh negative blood seem to be more targeted, but the most targeted are people with O negative blood, tend to have those, those abduction experiences, those sleep paralysis experiences. So I'm grateful I don't have that blood type. But, and I guess you can look at it two ways. You can be like, well, are they more prone to being delusional? Maybe that's it. But I don't think so, because there's, I'm still piecing together info, and I'm still kind of trying. I don't want to say it all yet because I'm still trying to understand it, and I don't want to be all like crazed and confused. But it's interesting because like I was listening to a show where they were just saying that like, oh, this woman was like, oh, well, I was targeted for my abductions because they were very intrigued on working on my or doing something with my blood type, because a lot of commonalities in abductions is that they're tampering with the DNA, that they're experimenting on you, that they're doing something with your blood type. And there's something in bloodlines and blood types that really intrigue them. Gosh, I'm trying to remember what I wanted to say because there were so many aspects to this, but it comes from the concept, the idea that there was, and I forget the name of the treaty. It was mentioned in last week's stream, but the concept that our governments, our world governments, have made an agreement with these entities that they said you can experiment on our citizens as long as you give us tech, and there's a tech exchange, so when people talk about having UFO tech, that's where it's come from, this exchange that's saying you can work on our people, and specifically they're interested in our genome, and they're interested in people with that O negative blood type. And it's interesting because it is the rarest blood type, so there is something in that. I don't know a lot about it, but the more I'm hearing, the more it's unraveling. You're starting to see the connections anywhere. So yeah, O negative, yes, the universal donor, but there's something, I guess, genetically that they're intrigued by in those people that have O negative blood. I have a book here, hold on, that might reference something with it. Because I heard this guy mentioning it, but I'm not sure if it's in this book or not. But this is Daniel Duvall's Prayers That Shake Heaven and Earth. And he references a lot of these situations and abductions because he does do ministries and like counseling for people who are targeted for certain reasons, either by SRA or they're targeted by abductions, and that they have things in their bloodline that line them up for targeting. But yeah, freedom from Illuminati bloodlines and genetics. So it's really intriguing, but I don't think it's in here, the blood type thing, which is too bad. But yeah, oh man, that would be a lot to dig into, but I'm still sifting through it. And I have talked to some people who have had experiences and that are of that blood type. So I'm curious, anybody in here negative and have weird experiences, or anybody O negative? Thank you so much. The Greada Treaty, yes. Which is wild. It makes so much sense when you hear that there's a treaty. They're simply more prone to kidney harvesting testing. Really? I've never heard that. Is that a joke? I can't tell. Sometimes, I don't know if there's humor. Wait. So that the abductions that they're harvesting, the alien abductions, or I've never heard of organ harvest in an alien abduction. So I'm curious. Anybody in here with O negative blood? Have you had any weird experiences? Speaking of, where am I going to go with that? The Illuminati bloodlines and genetics. This guy also gives like the names of different families and bloodlines that would be Illuminati bloodlines. I don't want to read them out loud because I don't want to set anything off. But if anyone wants to pause it and see them, this was very interesting. O positive, you're immune to any BS. You ever have sleep paralysis issues? I'm curious. But then maybe they don't want you because, yeah, you got too much THC in your system. Is that why you're always so hungry? Are you 101 proof? So yeah, you're protected from that too. Yeah, the aliens don't want your blood a little too high in the blood alcohol content. The name yes, it wasn't in there, right? It's funny because we were talking, yeah, especially because we were talking about it tonight. Okay, what was this? Sorry, there was some other. What were some of the others? I don't want to read them all off, but there was something else that I found very interesting in this was back in October, I went to Sleepy Hollow Cemeteries tour, and there's a lot of those like families that rule the world buried in there. So as I'm reading this, and I was reading this after the fact, I'm like, oh, there are a lot of those names in that Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. So I'm like, I wonder what happens there at night when it's all locked up and nobody's looking. What kind of ritualistic things happen? Am I going to get myself in trouble for saying that? You forget your blood type, bad, but you just consider it red. Yeah. And you know what, though? Here's the thing. Now that everybody's all contaminated and their blood is contaminated, do we have to do like the Jehovah's Witnesses do? Right? Some people, like, if you have a procedure, donate your own blood, but how do you know you're even going to get your own blood back? I don't know. Yeah, I think a couple times at least I'm awake, but you can't move. Almost like that feeling about to get probed by aliens. Interesting. Yeah, I know other people with O-type blood that tend to have sleep paralysis issues. And again, devil's advocate, you can look at it and be like, well, maybe just O blood is more prone to sleep paralysis. But maybe not. What if the sleep paralysis is actually a type of abduction? I didn't listen to this episode yet. Blurry Creatures has this episode called Sleep Paralysis. I didn't, but my sister had listened to it, and she said it was really interesting because it was saying sleep paralysis, may not always be tied to alien abductions, but it might be an interdimensional abduction. Because there's certain aspects of sleep paralysis. Like people say when they have sleep paralysis that they can see their room around them. But this woman was saying, Yes, but notice when you have sleep paralysis and you wake up from it, you open your eyes. So how were you seeing your room if it was closed? Almost like it's giving you a false memory, a screen memory, to cover up whatever happened, that there was some sort of interdimensional abduction happening. Really interesting perspective. I got to listen to that podcast. So crazy. Interesting book. Are you a big reader? I mean, I don't know. I like to read. Don't always have the opportunity to read as much as other people do. But I like it. I do enjoy reading. I kind of like, maybe we could like all follow each other in Goodreads. And it's terrible because it's like, well, Goodreads is just like giving the government information on what you're reading, I'm sure. But the thing is, I'm like, I order a lot of my books online, so they'll know anyway. Or I go to the library where it's in a database. But maybe we should all follow each other on Goodreads. So yeah, I don't get to read as much as I would like to, but I've started listening to audiobooks, which has given me more an opportunity to get more books down. But as I've started listening to Blurry Creatures, where they have a lot of fantastic guests on. This guy was a guest. My first episode of Blurry Creatures that I listened to was Bloodlines with this guy. So intense. It like scared me. I'm like, am I gonna be able to sleep tonight? And I don't get freaked out like that. But so they've kind of opened my eyes up to certain things that I want to read. Also doing High Strangeness has made me want to read more. So I'm more like, I do like to read. I just don't get to read as much as I would like, but I have bought a few that I want to dive into. Here, let me show you the other two. And again, this came from Blurry Creatures. Also, but The Unseen Realm by Michael Heiser. It's recovering the supernatural worldview of the Bible, because a lot of the church, they are open, to accepting the Trinity and that version of the supernatural and angels. But when you come into other things like Genesis 6 type stuff, fallen angels, oh, no. Nobody wants to touch or acknowledge that or discuss it. So he's saying, we're kind of recovering that supernatural worldview of the Bible, because back in the Bible times, that stuff was like a given. That was normal. They don't like, they don't have that truncated worldview that the church has now. They were more open and understanding of the supernatural realm. So this I'm going to start reading. I just wanted to watch the documentary first before I read the book. So I started it. I haven't finished that documentary yet, but it's on YouTube, The Unseen Realm on YouTube, if you want to watch it for free. And then I heard D.W. Pasalka's episode of Blurry Creatures called UFOs in the Vatican. So her book is American Cosmic, and she explores UFOs, religion, and technology. And she had an interesting perspective. I don't completely agree with her perspective, but I liked the way she explored it, so I figured I'd pick that up. And then this is Daniel Duval. He can be like, he can go a little off the wall sometime. I don't know that everything is like correct theologically, but he does say a lot of eye-opening things that make sense. So I almost feel like you got to take him with a grain of salt. You got to be careful, but still wonderful resources, a lot of like really freeing prayers, and really helped a lot of people out. Let's see. I'm dying here. Brian to a doctor, just fill her up with regular or whatever. That is good. That is a good thing. Let's see. So many things that you're talking about can be explained by Tom Campbell. Have you looked into him yet? No, I'm going to open up a tab on him. Tom Campbell. So that way, when I'm done, I can find him. Former NASA physicist, Tom worked as a large complex system analyst by day and collected evidential information in the larger consciousness system. Oh, cool. All right, cool. Sounds up my alley. So I just pulled up his tab. I never tweeted this out on Twitter. Sorry. Bear with me as I tweet it out. Cool. Hex Streamers tweeted me, so I'm going to retweet them. Thank you, Hex Streamers. Okay, where am I? Where is the proper tab? There we go. There's the StreamYard tab. The soup invested. Don't eat that soup, by the way. It's full of sodium. Sodium's good. but not to that extreme. Yeah, you either do Audible or honestly everything is here on YouTube. Yeah, I have seen that you can find certain things on YouTube. I like Audible because of the way I can listen to it in the car, and because I have Apple Play, it just really makes it so much easier to navigate. It's harder to put on YouTube for me in the car and navigate it without being possibly distracted by it. But it just yeah, it sucks how expensive Audible is. So sometimes I'm like, "Ugh, I want to get rid of it," but I'm like, it's so addictive. But anyway, if anyone who doesn't want to pay for Audible or use YouTube, I think Hoopla. Or if you go to the New York City Public Library website, there's like you can actually get it on or is it Libby app? There's a bunch of different ways where you can get free ebooks through the libraries. Let's see. I know. Isn't this such a great cover? Like, it's gorgeous. There's certain, even Whitley Strieber's Communion, both covers, the old cover and the new covers are pretty. Like, I mean, yeah, I think it would, okay, it just looks regular in there. But it would look pretty out in a shelf or something. I'm somebody that when I read, I do like to donate my books after the fact, unless there's something I would reference back. This looks like it would be referencing back a bowl, and it looks nice. You heard that reading is bad for your eyes. Well, then use your ears. No, I think reading it. Well, I don't know if this is a joke or not, but if you're in the proper light in the proper position, it's good for your eyes. Well, that's more damaging than reading a book. Miracles happen all around, but they don't look like a Red Sea moment. So the distracted don't notice. Amen to that. And I think you also have to be open to it. Like if you look at third world countries, they have more extreme cases of miracles happening. I'm sorry, is that not politically correct? Developing nations. You look at developing nations, like if you go down to like Central America, South America, you were likely to see like really insane, wild miracles. Versus here, you don't, because yes, people are distracted, but also people just aren't open to it. Like they like truly believe, so they're more likely to see the miracles. Like I have a friend who has done internships and different work in Africa, and he's like, no, the stuff you witness in Africa is, I mean, but then it's like both sides of the coin. You see some really dark, scary things, but you also see some like real miracles. Like he said, they were playing soccer and somebody ended up breaking something, a really bad injury. We really saw that it was like seriously broken. And they're like, we prayed over it and it was insane. It just miraculously healed right in front of us. And can you imagine that happening somewhere in the US? I'm not going to say it doesn't, but you don't, because we just don't have that openness to it. It's almost like as the countries become more developed, we get this arrogance or something. But it's true. There's small miracles all the time and answered prayer all the time, but people just like forget. People, I don't know if they forget they prayed for it or you're distracted. I mean, it kind of becomes ungrateful past the point, right? Hey, Hex Noob. How's it going? How you feeling? Michael Heiser teaches the Bible affirms, but he personally doesn't hold to that. Interesting. Okay, so I haven't gotten too deeply into Heiser. I'm new to him. So he teaches that the Bible affirms it, but he doesn't personally. Oh, that's an interesting conflict of interest. Okay. I guess I'll get to that soon as I read more into him. You always hover between sarcasm and serious. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. I just don't know which is what. Ever try reading in a moving car? Odd feeling. No, I can't. It gives me a migraine. Hey, Crypto Journeyman. So we don't see things. Yeah, exactly. Because of unbelief. And because they believe, a lot of these other countries are more believing, more evangelical. It's almost like a blessing to your belief. Because you believe, you get blessed like that and you see it. And we're just like, I know people like to act like we're such a Christian nation, but I feel like we're Christian in name only. We're Christian culturally. When it comes down to it, we're not really like practicing. So when people want to talk about like a Christian revival and that people are going to wake up and this country's going to be amazing and it's going to turn around, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that type of Christian nationalism. I'm not saying that faith and politics can't go hand in hand. I do believe it's possible, especially if you establish your name, your nation in certain ways. Yeah, if then it's possible. And it's not always bad, but like I don't like this whole brand of it where people are like where it's become an idol. It really has become this really strange idol in our country where people are like focusing completely on this revival and this. I don't even know how to put it into words. There's something odd going on. Yeah. Mm. It's hard for me to form into words, but you guys know what I mean by that. Hey, wait, hold on. YHVH, thanks for being here. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. So you bet churches can create their own tokens and remain tax-free. Crypto could be good for them. Interesting. I don't know though. I feel weird about certain things with churches and money, like that there's a certain way you got to do things. But because would tokens be getting almost like too much into, I don't know the ethics of it, but yeah. So the Constitution rules. Okay, wait, are you talking well, yeah, well, the fact that but everybody wants to throw the Constitution out the window. But in terms of when I say that it can go hand in hand, Christianity and like politics, I mean like certain countries, we're established in certain values, in certain Judeo-Christian values. Like this country, when you really look at the founders and the founding fathers and the forefathers, that was their intent, morally to follow that. That I don't know, that scaffolding, that it was our laws were based in that. The idea that your rights aren't given by the government. You are born with these natural rights that come from God, and the government is only there to protect those natural rights. They're not there to give you your rights. And that's what makes us different than every other country on earth. The fact that we acknowledge that you're born with those rights, and the government is only there to protect those rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Other governments are like, no, we give you the rights. So that's what I mean, like where we come out of those values. But like this weird warped stuff that's like happening now with like people like putting Trump on this pedestal and and I'm not saying anything against him, cool, whatever, but like it's become like this form of idolatry that I don't like. That's too much mixing when you start mixing politics and national stuff into your church. I'm like, no, I don't like that. Gotcha. This is a different method of donating. I mean, it might have to go that way with this whole CBDC stuff happening. Right? I mean, does it make sense what I'm saying? I don't know how to put into words. It's a feeling. Michael Heiser also teaches that ancient cultures had a theological mindset rather than a primarily scientific one, that they were serious about the reality of the divine and the spiritual realm. Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think us not having our grasp on that theological mindset puts us in so much danger of deception, because when you don't believe these things exist, you put yourself at risk of falling into certain traps. Like almost like it becomes like this arrogance, and then you walk into a trap. Our controllers refined religion over thousands of years because it works so well to keep societies from collapsing and bloodlines alive. Okay, just branching off from that. Yeah, no, I know that there has been some problems and contamination. That's why like certain churches, like certain things I'm wary of, like the King James Bible, like that's kind of like a government approved Bible, or the Church of England. The fact that the church has a hand in the government. So like that's why we have that separation of church and state. And it's not that faiths can't influence law, but it's to protect the church from the influence of government, to keep government from co-opting the church, which has happened throughout history. If one wants to support it, just buy and pump past the moon to Jesus. Okay, Hex Hodl is on a let's get church into crypto kick. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if some churches do that. I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah, I see what you mean. They do gold and they have bank accounts. Why not crypto? Yeah, it's money. Same thing. I guess I just wasn't keen on the idea of a church starting its own token. That's what freaks me out. I mean, if they want to accept donations in crypto, then it's just a form of currency. Sure. To me, it reminds me of, when Jesus was in the temple courtyard and flipping the tables because they turned it into like trade and bartering inside the temple. Sorry, I said church in the temple yard. That's what like making your own token as a church reminds me of. But yeah, if they want to accept crypto, that's a whole other story. Yeah, take some donations. Hex fixes that, just saying. Does Hex just fix everything? The problem is the modern culture as a modern guy, a science is called scientism. And what has been the perfect example of that, honestly? I always say these past 2 years, but these past 2 years just explain everything, like the whole worship of science, the scientism and this and the scientist. And they're like the gods of modern and, Fauci. And like, I'm surprised they don't have them in stained glass now. It's true that there is this like, it's become its own religion to the point of being cultic. And again, like we saw this with the fact that they all said follow the science for 2.5 years, but yet they weren't really following the science. It was very odd, very weird brainwashing happening now today. Sorry, I'm getting tired. I'm gonna have to log off soon. I'm getting a little sleepy. What am I gonna do when I log off? I'm gonna lay in bed and I'm gonna finish watching Die Hard. I had started Die Hard. And it's like I know I start things and I don't finish things because I get tired and I fall asleep. But I think I'm gonna finish Die Hard. I mean, right? Is it a Christmas movie? So I guess 'tis the season. He returned to the Shire. I don't know Lord of the Rings, so I don't understand the reference, but I know Shire is a reference. Hold on, I just got a text. I want to see where I heard my phone vibrate. Usually I have it on airplane mode, so now it distracts me when I hear it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Log off. Okay. Let's dissect this. Log. Yeah. Okay. Log. Yes, I agree. That's appropriate. Log would be the proper way. Off. I know people say the way I say off, but here's the thing. Let's explore it. Off, right? It does sound like it has a W in there, but I'm saying the O. The way without the W is off. That sounds like AFF. That then becomes a non-word. It becomes a fake word. So aren't New Yorkers saying it properly? We're actually saying the O, off. Yeah, I've heard good things about this. I still have not gotten around to watching it, but I've heard people rave about this documentary. True DeFi harnessed by a congregation could do measurable good. Oh no, definitely. I see. I could see that, being that this is the amazing thing about crypto. A lot of people, like to be against it and say it's evil because it's going to do the new world order stuff and it's a one world currency and this and that. And it's like, there's two sides to every coin, there's like a duality to everything. Yeah. If it's a CBDC, then it's going to be bad. Then it's that type of thing. Then it's going to, it's going to bring about whatever they plan. But the way we use it really becomes a freedom money. The closet just popped open. Did you guys see that? That's creepy. Okay. Really becomes a freedom money, the way that we're using it. Yeah. So if a church used it, it could really be a good thing, a big deal. But I guess, that's why they come after it. That's why it's constantly under attack, because of the good it can do, because of the fact that it legit is freedom money. First Die Hard, because I've never seen it before. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. You got Black Adam, but haven't watched it yet. I can't get into superhero stuff. I like the Thor, the Dark World movie. Yeah, but otherwise, I can't get into it. I did watch that Hawkeye series on Disney Plus last year. It was okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Good for falling asleep too. Some background noise. You know what? For years, I could not fall asleep without a TV on, but now I'm started to be able to sleep without a TV. Isn't that amazing? But either way, fall asleep. Yeah, spooky. I know, right? Wasn't that creeped me out? Should get some coffee and keep this going. I gotta be up early tomorrow. I mean, not as early as I usually have to be up on Sunday, but I still gotta be up early, and I'm not an early bird. Is there anything else that I wanted to say or add to anything? No, those were the books I had lying around. And just an art book that I was eBaying. That's it. So no other interesting books to talk about at the moment. Talk. And that sounds like talc. Okay, but I'll give you that. Talk is probably incorrect. Yeah, I plan on being on Saturday. I just have to be up at some point so that you do wet your bed. Well, don't wet your bed. I hope you have a mattress protector on. Oh, so you don't wet the bed. Okay. I was like, oh, all righty. Yeah. You appreciate the video. Oh, well, no, thank you guys for being here. It's fun to get together. And I keep touching my hair because this is annoying me. It's really fun to get together and just chat back and forth like this. And like, I'm shocked that anyone is like still stayed this whole time, that you guys aren't like, she's insane, I'm bailing. But thanks for still being here. We're at an hour and 46. I'm like, should we just round it out to 2 hours now at this point? Let's see. What else can I tell you? I'm seeing if I have another book lying around somewhere to mention, but no, just a Christmas book I wanted to read, and it's called An Irish Country Yuletide, because I would like to visit Ireland, but someday. But oh, thank you, Brian. Kick ass and take names. And then what is the other one? Chew bubblegum and no, kick ass and chew bubblegum. Thank you, Brian. You're always so kind. I really appreciate that, truly. So I will, not on Thanksgiving. I'm around people I like on Thanksgiving. I won't be kicking any butt that way. I won't be causing any problems at the Thanksgiving table because we are all like-minded, thankfully. But I feel for any of you all that got to sit with some unhinged people at your table. Try not to fight. But man, with the zombified brains, those people who destroyed their blood and immune system and now their brains are zombified. Listen, you can't talk sense into them. You just gotta leave it be. Yes, very few of them you can change minds, but for the most part, nobody's gonna change minds. No, I'm not saying like you don't, but if you gotta keep the peace, you gotta keep the peace. Just enjoy it, eat. And try not to fight, basically, is what I'm saying. Save the fighting for some other time between holidays. Science, you know what? I think that's so interesting that I guess that he was able to make too, that there was enough info and enough interest in it that he did two scientism exposed. Yeah, I still have to watch them. Yes, yeah. Thank you, Brian. That was awesome of you. Thankful for this community. Have a great Thanksgiving Day, legends. Yes, I am thankful for this Hex Pulse Chain community, this high strangeness community. Thank you all who stopped in and hung out and tolerate the antics and go back and forth with me because I like insane antics. The Jesuits, I've heard some things about the Jesuits. I don't know a lot about the Jesuits, but it's interesting to me the people that I know who have been fond of the Jesuits. It says a lot. It's interesting. I need to look more into the Jesuits. I'm not Catholic. I wasn't raised Catholic, so I guess it wasn't something that I really paid attention about until recently when people started, as things have kind of spiraled out of control in the world, the people brought up the Jesuits. I'm like, oh, okay. So they were behind heliocentrism. Hmm. And so, okay. Again, you know that I'm a heliocentrist, but whatever, I'm whatever about it. Um, but on the flip side, if flat Earth is the way it is, what was the purpose behind the Jesuits of promoting heliocentrism? Is it, they want to make it like we're not special, we're not like, prominent in God's eye? But it's confusing because, like, why would they do that if they're Catholic? I guess because they're not Catholic, they're fake Catholics. It's interesting. Interesting thing to explore. Yes, thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving, Tomas. Thank you. You too, John Davis. All of you. Smile and wave at them. Wait, hold on. What is that? This America? No, I can't do that imitation very well. That's not, yeah. Guess am I just not that kind of girl? I'm a little wackier. Smiling. Oh, I thought you were telling me to smile and wave at the chat. One of those nights. No, yeah, exactly. Smile and wave at the table and eat your food and just enjoy it. Yeah, occasionally nod. Yeah, just humor them. I mean, and the thing is, I'm not saying like just be passive and you don't want to try to open people's minds. Yeah, where you can. You see where you can, but where where you feel led, but so many people I believe are beyond help today. you know and you got to trust your gut. You got to go with where God's leading you, because I've made the mistake of where I could feel that I'm being pulled back on a leash, like God's telling me no, and I did it anyway. And I opened my mouth and it caused the problem. It caused the problem. I'm not going to say I caused the problem, but it exploded. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's why God told me not to. Yeah. So, do what you feel led. But for the most part, in these situations, you're not going to change minds. Better not to fight with your family over the Thanksgiving meal. Oh, thank you. You rock, Brian. All you guys rock. Thank you. You are spiritual now? I've always been. Spiritual's a weird word, like I'm not spiritual in the new age sense, but I've been raised Christian. So yeah, so that's my worldview. That's the lens I view the world through. Too many beers, nodding. And now you're getting into the good stuff. What good stuff am I getting into? I don't know what we're saying. Oh, because I said flat earth. Is that it? To take confidence in the Bible away from people. But it's interesting because because the Jesuits, you would think, that's their job to bring people to God. But I'm like, okay, so, I guess, yeah, if you're not really Catholic, they're just posing as Catholics, and that would, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of layers to this, isn't there? Just like everything else. Gotta watch They Live. I need to watch it too, but I used to have a They Live shirt because I know the gist, the plot, and just the imagery, and because I like that imagery. Oh, and I have a really cool They Live poster. So where's my poster collection? One day I'll pull that out. Because sometimes you pick up some really cool art from New York Comic Con. I got that at New York Comic Con from John Carpenter's booth. I bought it from his wife, Sandy King Carpenter. Hey fam, let's watch a movie. I have one. Oh, there you go. No, what would be worse if you really want to cause an issue? Hey, look, guys, let's watch something, and you put on Died Suddenly, right? But here's the thing. Here's the hard thing. It's because you don't want to scare people, or you don't want to insinuate that you think they're gonna be dead because they think that other people were gonna be dead. Everybody's like wishing each other dead or accusing each other of being dead. But oof, a lot of did somebody wish me dead once recently because of all the insanity? I don't know. or no, or just wishing people in general that we live in such weird times. It's gonna explode, and I don't know. It's gonna come to the shizzle is gonna hit the fan. The Schumer is gonna hit the fan. Yeah, that's me. I'm one of them. I've got a bloodline chart that connects all those ancient families. Ooh. So I don't know if you came in before when we were talking about this, but Daniel Duval, and this was through his research, through the deliverances that he's done, through the counseling he's done of people that are trapped in these things. But he also gives this listing of different Illuminati families or ruling families in the world. And it's supposed to be pretty accurate because spiritually, I guess he's had some experiences that they have kind of confirmed that this list, the entities that want to speak to him about this list. So it's very interesting. Oh, that chart must be wild. Wasn't there a kid that supposedly did a project where she was able to like link the bloodlines of all the presidents or something? Something wild. So, but yeah, keep saying I'm going to go, but I think I am going to go now. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Don't fight. But you know what? Maybe you can show, no, it's going to cause problems. Show that new documentary that came out. Some people were calling it a psyop. And I'm like, how is it a psyop? And they're like, oh, because it proves germ theory. I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to get into that germ versus terrain theory of debate. But what side of it am I on? I think we live in a mixture of germ and terrain theory model. So these are the Jesuits. Okay, they were formed specifically to fight the movement known as the Protestant Reformation and to teach against ancient biblical cosmology via their promotion of Copernicus. So they were formed to fight the Protestant Reformation. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to have to dig into these Jesuits. Thank you for bringing it up, John. Isn't Fordham University a Jesuit university? It's not far from me. Oh, well, I am thankful for you guys. I am thankful that people come and hang out with me on these streams. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving Eve, and don't drink and drive, and don't eat too much Doritos, because that will lay you out on the floor. And yeah, and I plan on being back on Saturday. So I'll see you guys then. I don't know what the topic is. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, so hopefully I'll see you all. Thank you to anybody watching in the replay. So yeah, again, please like and subscribe. That would make me very happy. Thank you again for your super chat, Brian. And yeah, well, trying to sleep, but I keep you're trying to sleep, but why are you going to sleep so early? Right? Aren't you in the Pacific time zone? We're trying to open up new wormholes. I know the duck holes just keep those cloacas just keep opening in my brain one after another. Did I go over the edge with that? Yeah, I don't know. Is it that like that pre-holiday energy I got going on? I know, because I'm so tired and I want to go to sleep and I want to lay in bed and watch TV, but I want to keep talking. So, and I guess that computer issue made me all hyper. Yeah, no Doritos unless you get in the UK Doritos. So, all right, I'll see you soon. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful night. And if anyone wants to support, I got my wallet. I was pointing in the wrong direction. Wallet address in the description. And yeah, and follow me on social media for any updates. Arizona time zone, no changes. It's not Pacific time zone. So is that mountain time? I don't know. You all have a wonderful night. Happy Thanksgiving. Mwah! Or happy Thursday to anyone not in the US. Oh, it's 12:02. It's Thanksgiving in New York. All right. Good night, guys. Bye.